Hi everyone. We'll just give it another minute before we get started. We're expecting more people to join in. In the meantime, I'll request you all to view this in a speaker mode. And as we're waiting for everyone to join in, you have your chat boxes. Just want to do a quick check-in exercise. How is everyone feeling? How is everyone doing? If you can just type it on the chat box and reply to everyone before we get started. Awesome, great, excited, energized, awesome. Great to see this participation on top of the world. Superb. Tired. Bad day. Okay. I hope this makes you feel better. Doing great. Wishing for a cup of tea. Awesome. Keep your responses coming in. Just give it another minute for people to join in. Super. Okay. I love the emoji responses. That's great. For people who are just joining in, if you can just type in how are you feeling on the chat window. We're just getting started in another 30 seconds. Curious, great. And the emojis are increasing. Great. Hi, everyone. I'm Nikita Doshi. I'm a volunteer at National HRD Network. I've been associated with NHRDN for last 4+ years. I work in the learning team at Publicis Sapient, and I'm joined by multiple people from the Mind Matters core team: Devika, Geeta, Nathan, Raj, Anuradha. There are many people from the Fulki team. There are many people who have joined in today from the Mind Matters team, and from everyone's behalf, I welcome you all to this Mind Matters 3.0 launch. But before we get started, I would like to invite Nathan, who's our president of National HRD Network, to share his story around mental well-being, the importance of mental well-being, and also to formally kick off the launch of Mind Matters 3.0. So over to you, Nathan.
Nikita, thank you. And for all of us who are on the call, I love it when you write all your wonderful messages on chat. And personally, the word for me is very excited, very happy. That's my word. Mental wellness is very close to my heart, very close to my heart. We go through all kinds of stress, whether this is at work or whether this is at home. We go through all kinds of stress. We read meanings into small things. Like if you're not invited to a party, then that's stress. You're not invited to a meeting, you're stressed. And if you're not acknowledged, that stresses you out. Sometimes if you're not appreciated, that could stress you. Rarely people would even shout at you at work or someplace else, you feel stressed out. And deep down, if you feel even discriminated against, all these adds to the one word, which is anxiety. The list will go on. There's such a lot of things that we could get anxious about. So what really is this whole, why is this important today? Why was this not important 5 years ago? And I keep asking myself this, and I suspect the last 2 years, or rather the last almost 20 months plus, have got a big focus onto something that we've been brushing under the carpet, that we have not really understood, but now it's come to fore because it's all the more important. So, what is this whole thing about mental wellness about? So, some people would call it something to do with your mood. Some people will even say it's about anxiety. And at the farthest end of that particular continuum, you might even say that, well, the person could be psychotic, etc. But the key thing is, it all starts with, are we on even keel, or are we anxious? Is there, if you're anxious, how does it really represent itself? I mean, what happens to you? Do you sleep more? Do you eat more? Because some people do that, right? If they're anxious, they don't know what to do, they keep on eating. So easy ones, try to see if you can go for a walk, do some exercises, and there are a whole host of things we will discover as what we can do to prevent, or rather manage, this mental wellness. Mental wellness, I have been a caregiver for a very long time in my life of people who have been very stressed out. And the only thing that I can do is just be with them in their times of anxiety. Nobody needs advice anymore. All they need is, they just need a strong shoulder, a soft pillow. That's what helps them. Recently, in the garden, I noticed that there was a very small bird. I even tried to take a picture of that bird. It's a very nice bird. It was flitting in one place to another. And it occurred to me at that point in time that our mind is very much like that small bird. It keeps moving from one place to another, searching for answers. And perhaps, as I was looking at that bird, and to me, the interjection was, our mind is very much like that. Perhaps the bird was also, beyond looking for its own forage, was also looking for a companion. And lo and behold, in a jiffy, there was another bird which came to its help. And both the birds flew away. Happiest times of the morning. I'm really hoping that through these Mind Matters, which is an NHRD initiative, and I want to go out and thank Devika and Nikita Doshi, who for the last 3 years have really, really put a shoulder to the wheel on what we can do with this very intricate subject. Last year, they did something which was amazing, which is collect all the best practices of various organizations, had a compendium, and I'm told that it has almost like 1.7 million downloads. So obviously, people are very keen to know what Mind Matters is all about. So without much delay, let me hand this back to both Nikita and Devika to take over. So over to you, please.
Thank you so much, Nathan. So while we're talking about Mind Matters and I'm getting my slides up, how many of you have heard of Mind Matters or participated in any of the Mind Matters events, either the 1.0 or the 2.0? Anyone who's participated, who's been part of? First time, okay. Great, we have a lot of first timers. That's amazing. Great. Since there are a lot of first timers, let me talk about a little bit about Mind Matters, and I'm going to just put up my slides. So as you all know, 2 days back, we had the Global Mental Health Day, October 10th. And last year, around the same time, we set out with a vision, with a mission to make mental health a strategic priority in organizations. And what can we do as part of NHRDN network to help organizations with this objective, which can actually enhance their productivity, engagement, growth, and also happiness. And hence, we kickstarted Mind Matters last year. In Mind Matters 1.0, we had curated a toolkit which was leveraged by 110 plus organizations. We had multiple sessions, multiple workshops, and a lot of awareness about mental health. Around April this year, when we were all going through COVID second wave, and we all know that most of us, our mental health got impacted, we thought, why not we actually launch something as part of Mind Matters to help people deal with that anxiety around COVID. And hence we launched Mind Matters 2.0 in April this year. And we kept this movement on for about 2 to 3 months till July. And we curated a toolkit, which Nathan just mentioned, had about 1.7 million downloads. We had multiple speaker sessions, again, a lot of awareness, and with an objective to normalize conversations around mental health. So that's what Mind Matters is about. It's a constant journey, because this is going to be a journey of helping organizations, helping individuals make mental health a strategic priority, and also to normalize conversations around that. And today we are here as part of Mind Matters 3.0 and launching it officially. As part of Mind Matters 3.0, we have a couple of things which are planned for you. One, we have been working, and the entire team, like I mentioned, there's been a big team of about 15 plus people who've been working for last couple of weeks to put together very exclusive sessions, workshops for you to experience, for you to share stories, for you to understand more about this topic. So today, as part of the launch, and we'll know more about it later, we have a very fun-filled games night curated by thought companies, where you will actually play games and also learn on how do you focus on well-being through that. We have a tweet quiz again happening on October 16th on mental well-being, and you can follow us at NHRDN to get updates on that. On October 19th, we have a workshop curated again by one of our volunteers, Sunu, on embracing anxieties, and that's called the Anxiety Decode. October 26th, we have a conversation with Devika and Harish on accepting and resetting the queer experience. October 29th, we have topsy-turvy relationships, just the effects of pandemic, effect of work from home on our relationships. And we end Mind Matters 3.0 with a conversation with Rajiv Bajaj on importance of mental well-being. As part of the closure, we will also be launching our toolkit, Mind Matters 3.0 toolkit, which will have collaterals, which will have resources, which can be leveraged by organizations on making mental health a strategic priority in their respective companies. We've also worked together to build a well-being manifesto, which the CHROs will sign in for them to take that pledge and for them to take action and steps for making mental health a priority. And there's a lot more action on our social media, communication awareness. We also have a special curated workshop, which is the Mind Matters Ambassadors Workshop, which is only by CHRO nomination. While others are open for everyone, this one on October 26th and November 10th is only by CHRO nominations. And we will be sending an email to all the CHROs shortly, so that, if they want to nominate anyone to be part of this workshop. And this would be conducted by MHFA, Mental Health First Aiders Association. So lots of action planned for the month of October, and we will continue it even beyond October as well. There are links for these sessions, and Devika will be posting that on the chat window. That's the LinkedIn post link, which will give you, access to all the links of the sessions, and you can register for these sessions, whichever you would want to. Like I said, this is the Wellbeing Manifesto. And today, like I said, we are ready to push the reset button. Accept to reset is our theme for Mind Matters 3.0. And we have curated a fun-filled games night for you. This is your chance also to win some exclusive mental well-being products by the Thought Company. Before I invite them, I would like to talk a little bit about the Thought Company and also of the founder, Priyanka Verma. So Thought Company is an organization of queer affirmative psychologists that work towards advocacy of mental health through awareness, destigmatization, and increasing accessibility. The thought behind the organization is to provide individuals with accessible tools to take care of mental health. I have personally, seen some of the products, and, I've also used them and have been very, very impressed by that. Priyanka Verma, who's the founder of Thought Company, is a psychologist based out of Mumbai with over 10 years of work experience. Her perspective towards mental health has been to take an active and more engaging approach, where you talk about clinical aspects of mental health, but in an easy, fun, understandable approach. This is a vision, and that has manifested in her organization, which is the Thought Company. So I welcome Priyanka Verma. I welcome her team to take us through this interesting, exciting games night. And I also want to tell you, if you stay till the end, we have some exciting gift vouchers, and we're going to give 4 of them today. And we are also going to give more throughout this entire Mind Matters 3.0 in October. But today we are going to give 4 vouchers of 1200 each, where you can buy any of their products, mental well-being products. And you will have the Thought Company link as well on the chat window. With that, I would like to, before handing over to Priyanka, I also want to thank our partners, Fulki, which has been our communication and design partner for last, I think, 7-8 years, and they've been amazing with respect to all the designs, and all that you see has been designed by Fulki. Our gaming partner, Thought Company, and our Mind Matters ambassador partner, Mental Health First Aid India. So with that, I now hand it over to Priyanka to take you through the games night.
Hi, everyone. I'm Priyanka. Nikita, thank you so much for that introduction. And it's nice to know that you really like our products, and we've been working on it for a few years right now. So it's nice to see that it's bearing its fruit. So when the team approached us initially to say, hey, what can we do with the pandemic and talk about accept a reset? Being true to myself and to the organization, we said, hey, let's have some fun and let's play some games, right? And let's play some games virtually, because one thing which has been representative of the pandemic has been the fact that we all have had to find new ways to connect with each other, and the internet and our screens have been at the forefront of this. So we said, hey, we'll continue with this, and let's find some way to connect with each one of us through an online version of games. So, we thought about what it is and what the pandemic meant for us. And I was doing a bit of reading and a bit of research. And what I realized is that a lot of my personal relationships have changed in the pandemic. The way I speak to my friends, the way I engage with my family, the way I even work with my colleagues has completely changed. But I couldn't quite figure out what it was. Till I was reading a New Yorker article, and was very nicely put in, that the way we started going out has changed. It made us introspect and reflect on our purpose of our relationships and purpose of our interaction. To quote the author, she said, did you go to the gym now to exercise and thus meet your friend? Or did you go to the gym to meet your friend and thus exercise? So what were we doing? And what was the purpose of our engagement and our interaction? Relationships changed, friendships formed, new ways of viewing the world has come about with it. I know for a fact, even through my client experiences, even to talking to my immediate colleagues, that friendships have been formed purely on the phone. We had a couple of new hires that took place in the pandemic. And even before they could meet each other face to face, they had formed friendships. They formed perceptions of each other, and they formed close bonds, which to a point even became protective in nature with each other. They understood each other at a very core level and wanted to be there for each other. But now I've painted a very rosy picture of what the pandemic could have been like and how the friendships came about. And there's also been another side to the pandemic where it's been a struggle for people to maintain old friendships, because a lot of people don't like the phone. A lot of people don't enjoy this face-to-face interaction on the screen. So I'm going to begin today by asking you all a question. What changed for you in the pandemic? How was your normal redefined? What became the new normal for you all? Now, I know this is a very personal question, so I understand the sentiments of it. Even though we're a large group today, I would appreciate it if we could maintain confidentiality in this space with it, and putting this question out there. What has changed for you all in the pandemic in terms of relationships, engagement, interaction? If you want to, feel free to unmute yourself, or you can even type it in the chat box. Not traveling till date. That could be a good thing for some and a difficult thing for a lot of others. Work hours got prolonged. Work with comfort. Yeah, I know. Like, there were times when we could sit on the bed and do our sessions working online. Extra working hours seems to be the theme. To be honest, nothing. Well, good. Less breaks compared to office. Avoiding traffic. I wonder that person lives in Mumbai because, hey, the traffic really saved us over here. Increased family timing, 24-hour work shift. Okay, lost my relationship. New friendships became on Zoom, learning new skills, work is more, pathetic and lethargy, boring, missing friends, family came closer, family importance, more independence, sanitization, wearing mask. I think I was getting time during traffic hours. You know, it's very interesting you say that because for the past month, I've had to commute to my office and I've been spending half an hour commuting. And this has been so much of joy because I could now spend that half an hour reading, which otherwise in the pandemic, locked up at home, I couldn't do it. I was just straight out of bed doing work and on my screen. So little joys we found in the pandemic, time for hobbies. But I feel like work hours seems to be something which has really increased a lot for people in the pandemic. I think we're always on call the whole time. Technology knowledge increased. Okay. So a lot of things, a lot of new things about the way we started engaging with others is coming up. And I can see a lot more responses coming. So I'm really glad to see this kind of participation from all of y'all. Okay. Boundaries really seems to have changed. But the truth is, despite whatever happened in the pandemic, we had no choice, as horrible as this may sound, but to adapt with it. Work hours increased, relationships have changed, and a lot of those things have taken place, right? Where we've had to adapt. We didn't have a choice but to take stride and to own it and to pivot and adapt with it, right? And I guess this is what we're talking about when we say accept to reset, is that we now live in a world where things are going to constantly change, right? And we have to keep adapting to the change. Now, the pandemic was a rude shock. We all had to do it. But now that we're moving out of lockdown, we still have a choice whether to adapt or not adapt. So what I'm coming with is the key important factor in our lives as humans is to enhance our flexibility, to become more psychologically flexible, to improve our cognitive flexibility, our emotional flexibility, and also our physical flexibility. So I'm also going to put another question out there for y'all. What do y'all understand by the term flexibility right now? Feel free to put it in the chat box. What do you understand by flexibility? Okay, I'm going to be freedom, agility, ability to adapt, can be asked to work at any time, to be more in less, adapting without compromising on one's values, one's core values. Okay, flexible to change in new environment, agility. So when we're looking at flexibility, right, the important factor is that we see that we're like operating on a particular structure, particular pattern. And then we see a problem that may arise, or our current mechanism of working no longer serves the purpose to us. It no longer serves what we want. And at that point, having the presence of mind to shift and choose an alternate pattern or an alternate way of working, that is what flexibility is. It's adopting a new strategy while being aware of what the situation demands from us. So that's my intent for today, to take you through the importance of flexibility and understanding things through games. Okay, so I'm going to start with the first one. Okay, before I begin, I would really like all of you to get a pen and paper so we can do this. I'm going to give you all like 30 seconds to grab a pen and paper. And if you're doing this from your laptop, then open the Word document on the side of your screen and try. Okay, so 30 seconds, I'm going to give you all to get it. Embracing new normal and adapting to new ways of thinking. Thanks, Monica, for sharing this. So if you've got the pen and paper, if you could just type in yes in the chat box so I know I can go on to the next thing. Okay, great. I'm now going to read out a list of randomly paired words. I want you to listen to me very carefully. Okay, I'm only going to say it once, so listen to me very carefully. Ready? Okay, I'm going to go for this. Bread, butter, juice, electricity, wood cutter, coffee spoon, apple flower, peaches cream, pen, pencil, table, chair, pot, pan, traffic, train. Okay, I've read this list of randomly paired words. I think you'll know where this is going, so no cheating and no writing these words down, okay? And because this is the first time we're doing this, I'm going to read these words again to you all. Just for fun, one more time I'm going to read it, and it's the only time I'm going to do this twice, okay? So pay attention and listen to me very carefully. I'm going to read these words out again. Bread, butter, juice, electricity. Don't write these answers in the chat, please. Wood cutter, coffee spoon, apple flower, peaches cream, pen pencil, table chair, pot pan, traffic train. Okay? Now, I'm going to say one word from that pair, and you'll then have to write down that matching word. Okay? I'm going to say the first word from that pair, and then I want you all to write down the matching word for it. Ready? Okay.
Where do we write?
On the pen and paper given to you all from the side, if you all could get it on your own individual pens and paper.
All right.
Okay. Again, it would be great if nobody typed any of these answers in the chat box. Please, it's going to ruin the fun for the rest of the team members here. Okay. Ready? Bread. Write down the matching word for it. Juice. Guys, 1 second, stop. You all don't have to write this answer in the chat box.
Let me disable the
Yeah.
chat. Let me do that.
Please. Thanks, Nikita. Okay, let me know when it's disabled and I can go ahead.
Yeah, it's done.
Okay, so I'm going to give you now another set of 5 words to come with. Okay, are you ready? Coffee, apple, pen, pot, traffic. I'm going to go to these 5 words again. Coffee, apple, pen, pot, traffic. All right. Now, I'm going to read out the answers to you all. And I would like you all to make a note of what your score is, as in which ones you all have got right. Okay? Are you ready? Okay. Coffee, spoon, apple, flower, pen, pencil, pot, pan, traffic, train. Should I repeat the correct answers out again? Coffee, spoon, apple, flower, pen, pencil, pot, pan, traffic, train. Okay. Nikita, can you now enable the chat option?
Yeah.
So I would like all of you to now type in your score, which is how many you all have got right in this. Wow, we got some 5s and 4s. Quite a bright bunch here, yeah? Oh, only 5s and 4s I can see. Oh, 3, okay. All 5. Okay, it's a tough group, yeah, we're working with today. Clearly a bright bunch. Okay. Hold on to your score because this game's not over. Okay. We're now going to go out into breakout rooms. Okay, and each of my team members is going to facilitate a breakout room for you. We're going to play a game of Sudoku, but this is Sudoku with a twist because, hey, can we play any game in a straight way? Each of my team members is going to divide you all, the entire breakout room, into 2 teams, Team A and Team B. And then they will give you the instructions to follow. All right. So if we can now go ahead into the breakout rooms. Also, from the YouTube perspective, they will not be able to see this part of the recording. Am I right?
Yeah. And Avinash, let us know once you're ready with the breakouts. In the meantime, while we're waiting, just a reminder, there are 4 vouchers to be won. So please stay on till the end. Only people who stay till the end stand a chance to win.
Yeah. All of this adds up to the final game, so don't miss out on that.
I'm ready for the breakout rooms. So should I open the rooms?
Yeah, and
Yes,
we are
please.
doing this for 8 minutes, right, Priyanka?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, I'm Sanjana and I'm an intern with the ThoughtCo. So how we're playing Sudoku today, does everybody know the rules of Sudoku? Is everyone familiar with them? Okay. Wait.
No, we are not. If you can tell us those rules, please.
Oh yeah, okay. So basically it's a grid with, it's a 9x9 grid, and there are some numbers given and there are some numbers missing. And you have to fill in the numbers in such a way that no number repeats in a 3x3 grid. None of the numbers have to repeat. So also I'll be putting you all in teams. So you'll be playing with your team. Like you won't be playing this individually. So just give me a second. I'll just share the presentation. So in terms of dividing the team, okay. So I'll just okay, I was removed from the room, I think, by mistake. Okay. Just a second. Is Nikita here? Just 1 sec.
Hi, Sanjana, there are some rooms with no facilitators in them.
Yeah, I was actually removed. Like I got removed from that room, so I was just
Which room are you to go to?
Sorry.
You know which room you were supposed to go to?
No, I was just added to a room, and I just started, and I was removed. So I don't really like. You can add me in anyone with which doesn't have.
Avinash, could you just put her in a room that doesn't have?
Yeah, and just stop the YouTube live as well. Pause it rather. Avinash, can you pause the YouTube live?
There is no such option to where we have to pause the YouTube live. We have to stop the YouTube live, or we'll have to recreate it.
Okay, okay, then leave it. So Sanjana has to be assigned, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But to which room?
I'll assign Sanjana as room number 7.
Okay.
Could you assign her again, please?
Okay, I'll do that, Sanjana, for you. I'll just have to put you in an interim room and I'll put you back in 7.
Okay. Or like I can just wait and you can put me in the room 7 after, because I think I'll disturb some breakout room if
Yeah, you would have got an invite now.
Oh yeah, I've got one. Yeah.
Yeah, Sanjana, we are in main room 1.
Even me also in main room, sir.
New
Yeah.
game?
I don't know whether I did that or by mistake I'm back in the main group.
I think all of them.
Actually, there was a
Or-
timer set.
Breakout
So,
room.
I think
yeah.
the breakout room got
Yeah.
We are all back,
timed
I
out.
think.
There was a timer, so it took us back to main room. Yeah.
Yeah. So all of us are back in the main room right now, and I swear I think this game could have gone on forever. I mean, if the pop-up came up, I really thought I could continue playing this game with it.
There were a couple of rooms, Priyanka, who didn't get to start at all. So
Oh,
just
no.
for your information, yeah, because we didn't get the facilitator in time, and we didn't start at all. Just for your information.
Thank you for sharing that with me. Okay, so I'll explain what the group was about. That we had Team A and Team B. Team A had to tell us the odd numbers that fit into the grid over here in Sudoku, and Team B had to tell us the even numbers. But after a few rounds of following the pattern of odd and even in these teams, we swapped it. Team A now had to tell us the even numbers, and Team B had to tell us the odd numbers. That meant your style of thinking, the way you were thinking, the way you were computing, formulating, and answering it had to now change from a particular perspective to a new perspective. And at least in my group, they started giving the responses initially a little rapidly once they understood the game. But when I swapped it around, they took some time to reorient themselves with what was happening. And then breakout happened, the group ended, and then we had to come back to this room. Now, I have played this game before, and what I've realized is that whenever we begin this game, we first have to orient ourselves to this new style of playing, this new sequence, this new pattern of thinking. And then we get comfortable with it. And then the answers come quickly and we follow the pattern faster. But what happened is that once we had to swap it around, again, we had to readjust and reorient ourselves. And that took us time. Now, what this comes from and the theory behind this is actually based on a research study conducted in 2019 by this person called Watzek. I hope I pronounced his name correctly. But what he did was that he decided to run an experiment or a study on 3 species: capuchin monkeys, rhesus monkeys, and us humans. What he did was he taught all these 3 groups a series of sequential steps that led to a reward at the end. Okay, great. Once all of them had mastered the series of sequence and the steps, and they got the reward, he said, hey, let me spice it up a bit. Let me just change things around. So what he did was that he taught all the groups, he showed all the groups an easier, shorter way of completing that task and getting the reward. So then he assessed that after I showed them this easier, shorter way, which group of these species would take the new method the fastest. I'm asking you all the same question right now. Which group of these 3 species, the capuchin monkeys, the rhesus monkeys, and the humans, took to the new, shorter method to get the reward faster? You all could put that in the chat box, or you can unmute yourselves and tell me which one do you all think it is? Humans? Humans, capuchin monkeys, humans. I'm not saying anything because I think we're a very hopeful bunch over here. So, sadly, contrary to the popular response over here, 70% of the non-humans took to this response immediately. 70%, which is a good number. Guess the percentage of humans. Clearly, the monkeys did better than us, yeah? So that's like, they did far better than us. The monkeys took to it better. 15, 30, no? Oh, they're still so hopeful as humans. 53, wow. 3%, 1%. The answer is 1.7% of humans took to the shorter step, the shorter sequence to get the reward, compared to the 70% of monkeys that took to it immediately. So what does it tell us about us as humans? That when we're shown an easier step, we don't take to it immediately. We have our reservations, we won't follow it, immediately. We'll reserve, we want to make a decision fast, we'll take our time. So then, you know what that's like, okay, fine. Let's give them some time. Okay. Waxic. I will type it up in the group later, and somebody to message me separately. It's called Waxic. So let's give them some time and let's see if, what they will do after they orient themselves better. So after 100% of these monkeys learned the shorter step, he then assessed the humans. Guess what the percentage of humans were who took to this immediately? After 100% of the monkeys took to it. Despite the fact that 100% of the monkeys were performing this task, he still had 61% of humans who never tried this task, not even once. And this just reflects the fact that we as humans are so resistant to change. We are so resistant to learning a new structure, a new way of performing, a new way of doing things. Like, I will give you my example. Now, I have taken the same route to come to work for years, right? And it will take me 20 minutes. But I won't even realize when the 20 has become 30 because I'm so used to the same way of performing that task. If I take an alternate route, which probably cut down my time, I will be so resistant to it. And I don't know if any of you all share the same experience, but we as humans, once we have a pattern, a set way of doing things, we don't take to it. So what does this tell us as humans, what we really need to do and be aware of? One is we need to be really mindful of what is happening to us at all times. That is, actively pay attention to what is happening, right? Like, we actually need to understand what is happening to the person, be aware of what is happening. And this is where flexibility comes in. Only if I'm truly engaged in the process can I see the problems arising for me to bring about any change in it. Two is I need to be able to multitask with different patterns of thinking, different styles of problem solving to call upon in that moment. So for example, I am actively engaged in the fact that I'm stuck in traffic, and I need to now actively remember there is another route I can take to get me to my destination faster, right? And three is being able to switch at that point of time to the new task. So this is what we as humans struggle with, but this is what we as humans need to actively practice. So if we want to enhance our cognitive or psychological flexibility. Okay. So now I'm going to go back to that game I was playing with you all earlier. Nikita, can you please disable the chat before we begin this game?
Sure.
Thanks. Let me know when it's disabled, because then I'll start reading out the words.
It's been done.
Okay, thank you. All right. Please use a pen and paper. Again, no cheating, because that takes away the fun of this game. I'm going to read out a list of words which have pairs. I want you to remember these list of words and listen to them very carefully. Are we ready? I'm beginning. Bread, butter, juice, electricity, wood, cutter, coffee, spoon, apple, flower, peaches, cream, pen, pencil, table, chair, pot, pan, traffic, train. Okay? I've read this list out only once this time. I hope you all have paid attention. And now I'm going to read out the first word in our pair. Okay, are you all ready? I'm going ahead. Juice, coffee, apple, peaches, table. Okay, write down your answers for it. I'm going to put that list again. Juice, coffee, apple, peaches, table. Okay, now I'm going to give all the answers. And Nikita, you can enable the chat again so they can type up their score. Juice, electricity, coffee, spoon, apple, flower, peaches, cream, table, chair. I like how all of you knew the answers beforehand and knew your score. Okay, so we've got 4 and 5 and 5. Oh, people are getting better with time. Okay, that's good. That's really good. Good fun. Okay, so we're going to go back into breakout rooms at this point of time. And in this breakout room, we're going to play a game, which I'm sure some of us must have played before, but we have a reason why we're playing it, which I will tell you later. Each of my 15 members is going to begin a story with the first line, and then they will call out different members in the group to add to that story with their own line. Okay? So if we could go into breakout rooms, Avinash, this again is for 8 minutes, and I hope everybody gets assigned to a facilitator.
I think let's do 9 minutes. Let's keep a 1 minute buffer. Avinash, let's keep the same breakouts, 9 minutes, and let's open it up. We'll just give it 30 more seconds for everyone to join back.
Yes.
Is everybody back from the breakout room? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I think it was a fun present. I think it was fun to do this because I definitely think we woke up a lot of people from this. So they had to pay attention to what was happening in this. At least in my group, we had to wake up a few. So it was good. But it's also nice to see how creatively the story went. I'm going to share a little bit about what happened in my group. We had wishes being granted and we had cheetahs coming in and we had mysterious people also coming in. And I managed to make a feature in my group too, in our story. And one reason why this activity or this game was chosen is because in the previous game, we realized how difficult it is for us to swap. And research also about humans does not support the fact that we are easily adaptable creatures. But the reason why I did this is because when we are truly paying attention to what is happening, and this also was reflected in my group, for the participants who were paying attention to what was happening, the ability to move and recreate and work with the story was easier than those who were not. So the reason why this has been brought up is because another study, I love studies, was by this person called Crawford in 2019 as well, where he studied rats. Now, what he did was he taught rats how to drive these little mini cars. And what he realized was that after some time, these rats could learn to drive these cars. So what he realized from this was, one, in a truly stressful situation, people can still learn. Two is that in challenging situations, the ability to learn does happen. And it is also fine in those situations. But it's challenging, we can rise to the challenge for it as well. Once I learned something, it becomes easier for me and I go in the flow of it and I can mindlessly operate from it. But I need to maintain some levels of stress and some levels of challenge for me to continuously be mindful and actively engage in a situation. And lastly, the more diverse and rich the environment is, the more opportunities for me to learn increase. So what we get from this research is essentially the holy trinities, I want to call it, of what are the essential skills we need to be psychologically flexible individuals. One is that we need to know that our intent can maintain, our intention, our goal can be the same, but we can choose different ways to do it. So for example, my favorite one is that I want to lose 100 calories, right? If I want to lose 100 calories in 1 hour, I can choose to do it through Zumba, through yoga, or through a cardio exercise like walking the treadmill. My intent can be the same, but the way I go about doing it can keep changing. So make sure that you incorporate the intent the same, but different ways to get that intent or get that goal. Two is choose things which are challenging. If you're going to mindlessly do things like brush your teeth every morning, you won't actively engage in the fact that, oh, is this the most effective way for me or not? So choose things that are slightly challenging. By that, I mean, it's a level up. The reason why you need to choose something slightly challenging is because it ensures that you're going to be engaged in it, you're going to be actively engrossed in it, and you're going to be in flow. There's this great book written about flow, and this is what is reflected in the book. That I need, if I'm going to maintain the same level of difficulty or the same level of ease, I am going to be complacent in that. I need to keep slightly challenging myself to ensure I'm actively engaged and to growth takes place in my life. Okay. I'm also going to say is do not choose things too challenging, because if you choose things too challenging, you're more likely to give up and not be actively engaged and say, this is not meant for me. I don't want to do this. Let me go back to what I'm like comfortable doing. And therefore you're resisting flexibility and you're more likely to be stuck in your ways of doing things. And third is network. Now, network can mean different things, but it means essentially not limiting yourself to same groups of people, not surrounding yourself in echo chambers. It's about stepping out and discussing topics or having conversations with people from different schools of thought. The reason being, it stretches your mind, it makes you more flexible, it allows you to view things from different perspectives, it enriches you, both at a like psychological, physical, and emotional level. It's a lot like when you do yoga, right? If I'm only doing one particular animal flow, only particular parts of my body will be flexible. But if I keep trying to change it to different kind of animal flows, different kind of exercises, I'm really working like the flexibility of my entire body from head to toe and constantly ensuring it's improving over a period of time. Right? Okay. Now, why is this important for your mental health? Well, if I'm actively engaging in all these three things, it ensures that I become resilient. It ensures my coping mechanisms are better. It ensures I'm able to see a problem that approaches me in my life and then use my existing toolkit, whatever I have my toolkit, and then apply it to these different things. If I'm able to do that, I'm able to cope with the stresses in my life far better. Because the truth is, life will keep throwing curveballs at you. Stresses will keep coming back at you. And what we need to do is actually be able to adapt to it so we're able to become emotionally resilient towards things. We're able to take care of ourselves better. And this actually forms the cornerstone of good mental health, is our ability to continuously work with existing problems and find different ways of coping with it. So now I'm going to play this game again with y'all. Okay, but I think Nikita is going to share a link with y'all in 2 minutes.
Priyanka, we're doing this now or we're doing this
now.
after the last? Okay.
We will do this now. Okay. So I'm going to first read out a list of, again, randomly paired words. And I would like you to listen to me carefully. Okay. I'm only going to say this once. Following which, Nikita will share a link in the chat and you will have to then write the answer to the matching word. Are we ready? Okay. I'm going to say it once. Listen carefully. No cheating. Bread, cutter, juice, spoon, wood, pan, coffee, train, apple, electricity, peaches, chair, pen, butter, table, pencil, pot, cream, train, flower. I said it once. Nikita's going to share that link in the chat and you'll have to answer it. Okay. This is going to be exciting. Okay. You'll have to go to the website www.menti.com and type in that code. And then the 5 randomly selected words will pop up. And then we can do this. I'm going to give you all 3 minutes for this.
Yeah. And just a call out, we are giving prizes to the top 4 who get this right. And also there's a timing as well, who gets it first.
Yeah.
So
I keep forgetting to tell you about the prices, but yes, there are prices at the end of this.
There are 4 vouchers of 1,200 each. So I'm going to give you 30 more seconds. I see 20 people have joined in, but there are 120 people. So I'll wait for others to join in as well.
I'm unable to access the link.
This is menti.com. You can just take your mobiles, type menti.com and type this code 78452313.
I'm not getting any random words to write.
Not right. I'm just waiting for everyone to join. Yeah. I see 40 have joined in.
You have to join. Just give 2 minutes.
Yeah. And there are points for even how fast you type in the response. Each question has about 20 seconds.
What should I see there once I enter the code?
Yeah, you will see NHRDN Mind Matters 3.0 Games Night.
I think you should repeat the list once because in between there have been too many intervening conversations.
That's for Priyanka to decide.
No, that is the point of this game. The list will not be repeated.
So from the link, how you will identify the unique person?
Yes. So type in your names. So please type in your names correctly, because whoever gets the names will announce the top 4 in the leaderboard. So I hope you have put in your full names correctly.
It doesn't ask for any name.
Or any questions.
It
It's
does
just
ask.
showing a
It's
heart
not
for me to like.
correct.
It's not
Correct.
giving any name or anything.
Same here.
Same here.
Only what we see is NHRDN Mind Matters games night. That's it.
And
Yeah,
it's
same
when you
here.
click on the heart, I guess it just gives a like to, it's like a feedback thing. Looks like that to me.
Okay, then just give me a minute. Priyanka, you want to just carry on with the next one? I'll just get this sorted.
So everybody's a winner. Thanks.
Now to Priyanka, you have to
Not
repeat
so
it.
easy. Not so
You have no
easy.
choice but to
So
repeat the list.
easy. We will find a way around this. Fear not. Okay. So now, till we figure this out, we are going to go out into the breakout rooms for the last and final thing for this evening. We are going to do an exercise which is a bit reflective and it's something which we want to close with. Okay. But before we do that, I would really encourage you all to get a pen and paper, something like a journal, preferably at this point of time, because it's something we want you all to keep with you all. Okay. So let's give it a minute, and then we could go into breakout rooms while you'll get your journal and your pen. Okay, shall we go into breakout rooms, Avinash?
Yes, sure.
Thanks. I think we're all back in the main room. And I have to say, the one person who's definitely adapted and was definitely flexible with this whole thing has been Nikita, because she's not only figured out the problem with Menti, and she's created a whole new system for us to play this last game. So, hey, kudos to Nikita for really showing her psychological flexibility over here. Okay.
Thank you.
But I also recognize the fact that it's been some time since we read out those words. So I'm going to do it again. Okay. I'm going to read out the list of words again, and then I'm going to share the link in the chat with you. Okay. Ready? Lucky for the second time around, I'm going to read these words. Bread cutter, juice spoon, wood pan, coffee train, apple electricity, peaches chair, pen butter, table pencil, pot cream train flower. Okay, so I read once again, and I'm now sharing the link in the chat with y'all. You'll need to visit it. It's a Google form, and you'll need to answer it. Okay, I'm going to give you all 2 minutes to do this.
Yeah, and also please put your right email ID, because if you are in the top 4, and that will let you know by end of the day today, then we'll email the vouchers to you. So please put the right email ID and also your name.
So sorry, we don't have access to external link. I couldn't access this.
I could access it. Nikita, just want to check the permissions till then.
I think
Everybody else.
companies have
it is
access issues.
configured.
Okay, why don't you do one thing? Why don't you send in your responses?
Yeah.
I'll drop in my email ID.
Okay. Okay.
Have the words changed, like the pair of words?
I don't know. I can't tell you, that's part of the game. That's part of the game.
So it's only for people who can't access. I think only for Srimati. For other people, please use the Google Docs, the form, and fill in your responses there. We'll look at the top 4 who would get it fastest as well.
So in the interest of time, I'm going to now move towards the concluding part of this, which is that today we played some games and we spoke about flexibility with it. And while these are games we probably have played in different shapes and forms in our life, what games like this actually do, it strengthens our muscle to become more flexible. And the important aspect of this is the more we exercise this muscle of flexibility within us, the more likely are we going to build resilience, we're going to build adaptability, and we are going to build better coping skills towards the changing stresses in our life. The truth is, nobody thought a pandemic would hit us in our lifetime, and it did. The truth is, we never realized what a pandemic meant, what it meant to live in lockdown, and the changes that resulted because of it. Some of us thrived, some of us struggled. But the fact remains, all of us have to adapt. And the one constant thing we know for certain is that life will throw us stresses, and adaptability is key for that to maintain good emotional and mental health. There's enough research that proves that kids who have been taught to be adaptable from a very early age and stage are more likely to thrive in this ever-changing world. And it's also important for us as adults to keep creating environments for ourselves where we're learning to be flexible. So as we are now slowly moving back into a new version of novel, and we're trying to embrace different things that come along our way, flexibility is the key word for good mental health. And that's something we hope all of us will do. Okay. Now for the last game, keeping this in mind, I know I've played a lot of games with you all today, and this is the last one, I promise. It's just the last reflective exercise, which I want to share with you all. I am going to now share my screen, a portion of my screen with you all, wherein I am going to roll a die. Okay. Roll a die with you all. And you all will have to then choose whichever one it lands on. You will then have to answer a question. Okay. And the reason why we've chosen this game again is because life will throw us whatever comes, whatever it wants to, and we have to work with it. So keeping that theme in mind, we're going to roll the die, and whichever one it comes on, I would like you all to answer it and keep it in the chat box. 1. Name one new thing you learned today, which I hope you all have learned something new today. So good. Let me know in the chat box. So one new thing you learned today: flexibility, new games to be flexible, adaptability, few games in different perspective, importance of flexibility, creativity, adaptability, being present in the moment. I think that's so key towards being flexible, is actually being mindful and being aware of what's happening. Importance of being flexible, the here and now. Well, that's great. Okay. So I really hope that you'll actually take on what we said about the Holy Trinity, which is doing things differently, embracing challenges, and lastly, networking, which is being a part of diverse environments for yourself, which help you grow, learn, and adapt. Okay. So I guess there's some parallel conversation happening over there. I really hope that, because that again forms the cornerstone of good mental health. So I'm now going to sign off and hand it over back to Nikita to conclude this evening for us.
Thank you so much, Priyanka. Priyanka, if you can just stop your screen share. Great. Thanks a lot, Priyanka. I think, one wonderful session. Before I proceed, I'm pasting a link. Would love to have everyone's feedback while you're putting it all on the chat window. It's always good to have it all documented. So I put a link there. So please share your feedback on that link, which I have shared. I want to thank Priyanka and as well as the entire team. I know there were totally 7 people from Thought Company who facilitated the breakout session. A different take on mental health, mental well-being. So thank you so much for curating this session. I also want to thank specifically Avinash, who has been on top of it to ensure the Zooms are on, the logistics are on. So thanks so much, Avinash, and want to thank the entire Mind Matters, core team, which we have here. Thank you so much. Before I wrap up, I'm going to share my screen again and just remind you of all our upcoming sessions. And as we speak, I've got 70 plus responses on for that quiz. So I'll share the names of the winners by today EOD on our LinkedIn page. So you'll see the names there, as well as, to the top 4 winners, we'll also share an email tomorrow, with the voucher details. So if you're still not participated, you can still participate in that, Games Night quiz contest. So I'm going to share my screen and just a reminder of what all is in store. So we have a tweet quiz again coming up on Saturday at 11 a.m. And we are going to give another voucher, another 1,200 rupee voucher from Thought Company. So join in. This is going to be on Twitter at NHRDN. And we have a workshop planned for October 19th on embracing anxiety by Sunu. So join in. Is going to be a 1.5-hour session from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. and all other sessions you can see it. Do share, talk about this on social media. If you have any questions, write to mindmatters@nationalhrd.org, and we would love to hear from you. With that, I would like to hand it to Raj, Devika, anyone who wants to just, share any closing comments. Devika, Geeta, Raj, anyone wants to share anything?
Hi. No, I'll just go ahead. And I think, first of all, thank you so much for everyone being here. As Nathan, Nikita, and Devika talked earlier, this entire initiative is really to normalize conversation. And Priyanka, thank you so much. Can't thank the team, NHRD, enough, because they are trying to surface issues. We are trying to get things out of darkness to light. And Priyanka has just brought a beautiful sunlight of fun also around it and a lot of interaction. All of us are here geared up for the next couple of weeks, putting out lots of webinars. So please do register and share the links with others as well, and participate wholeheartedly. Thank you, team. Thank you, Devika. And thank you, Priyanka, Geeta, for putting this to. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. And with that, we'll wrap up today's session. We'll keep this on for another 30 seconds if anyone wants to share their feedback or register for the sessions. But if others want to log off, you can log off. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Thanks, team.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.